Cool. All right, let's hop in. Swoleei, introduce yourself for those who might not know you.
My name is Swoleei, guys. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I like to say what I make. What I make is called like championship music. The only reason I'm really doing this rap stuff is because, A, I love it, of course, but B, I want to be the hope for somebody, that I didn't have when I was, coming up as a rapper. Just to show people that it's possible, anything's possible.
Do you wanna what do you think you didn't have growing up in like the form of like an artist that you want to exemplify?
I was always taught growing up, not by like my mom or dad or anything, but just more of like, friends and, social media and everything that like who I was as a person could never be like successful as a rapper. Because I have a really strong relationship with God. And so that was kind of like my forefront for everything. And so a lot of times, God and rap they don't really mix. So it's like, I've been told a lot that that's kind of impossible, but I just want to be, the one to show them that through him anything's possible.
I was gonna I was gonna touch on this later in the in the interview, but you brought it up now. I do feel like you're very authentic in all ways on like your social media. Just like even like the goofiness that you have, how like bright you are. Like you were posting like a SpongeBob meme, and then like yesterday you're like, I'm taking a potty break, which I feel like it's just like so funny, and I appreciate stuff like that because I love seeing that in an artist because it's like, okay, this person as goofy as I am, and like I see myself like fucking with this dude in real life. So like I appreciate the potty breaks.
Of course, I'll keep taking them.
Amazing, amazing. Can you tell us a bit more about like your musical background? What did you listen to like growing up? What was it like growing up in Nashville? I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of country music. What was that like?
My mother was a country singer. She hated it. My grandmother made her do it because she was really good at it. She actually had an offer one time. I think she was like 17. Quincy Jones wanted to sign her and she turned it down because she didn't want to do country music. Music has like always been a big part of my life, but kind of on the back burner because I think that she, sometimes maybe regretted that decision. It's something that it's always been there, but I've had to kind of actively search for it because like I had a big interest in it. But growing up, I listened to pretty much everything. I really didn't listen to rap growing up. I listened to a lot of soft rock, like classic rock. The Beatles were like probably my favorite band.
That's so cool. It's so interesting that you're like interested. You grew up with like kind of like different styles of music, and now like you describe like champions of music, rap music. It's
Yeah.
like interesting like how you get from that to that. Was that like a specific moment in time like, oh, my friends are listening to this, or like you just found it on the internet? Like,
Definitely going into middle school. That was 2015 for me. So that was like right around the time Jumpman and all those songs came out. Pep rallies were like nuts. I was like, oh shit, I'm missing out.
yeah, I definitely remember that. Yeah, I think we were in middle school at the same time.
Crazy, crazy time.
I'm
Seriously, what a
telling
time to be alive. Even in high school, it's like there weren't very many rappers or anything in school. That kind of like, it's like, okay, like if you do it, like people can pay attention. It's not like you're just doing it for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And was it always like music for you from the start, or are you interested in like other artistic like pursuit? I love your
Oh,
visualizers and all like the things that you post too. Like, are you into editing or anything like that?
yeah, I recently got into video editing. It started because like I didn't want to keep paying people all the time. So, but I do really enjoy it. I do it for my friends too who are artists, just for fun. So
All power to you to like be editing your own videos too. That's awesome.
I got respect for you guys because there's a lot to learn.
It's tedious, but keep at it. And like, you're already making great stuff. Like, keep on making videos and things like that.
Appreciate that.
Diving into your Beast Boy persona, do you want to talk about that?
So best this is I've tried to figure this out for the past few months actually. So the Beast Boy is more I don't know, kind of like my inner child. He's the one that I bring out in order to make championship music. Beast Boy and then championship music go hand in hand because without one you can't necessarily have the other. As a manual it's like hard to do that on my own. He's kind of like I don't want to call him, like an alter ego, but he's more of like just like a sense of freedom. You know what I'm saying?
What do you do to like stimulate that sense of freedom?
I get away from every responsibility that is tied to my name, kind of live in a world where Swoleei can be Swoleei. Even if it's in my head or in my bedroom or in the backyard, whatever the case is. It's like I just kind of shape my brain into thinking that I'm there.
I feel like self-talk is such an important thing. Shout out to that. And then kind of my next question, do you want to define championship music?
It's the title of like the genre came off like how it made me feel because when I first started rapping, I used to make music like that. I think over the years, I was kind of messing around with different sounds, trying to figure out my own. As of recently, it's like I've almost kind of reverted back to the start with this knowledge of, how to make songs and good songs. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just kind of like a very full circle moment.
100%. That, yeah, that experimentation you've done over time. It's really cool to see that in your discography because like you play with like plug, you play with like sample heavy music. I was listening to like FN yesterday and like I heard like the knock in my headphones and I freaked out because I was doing dishes at like 11 at night. I was like, oh my God. And it's just so cool to see that. Or like even Take My Will and like that just like alt pop. And so it's so cool to see like experimenting, but also just like playing around with styles. How would you say that experimentation journey happened over time?
A lot of different influences. It wasn't until recently that I realized that I needed to formulate my own sounds. I was so caught up in trying to do what sounded best or what sounded different, even if that meant experimenting. Now I feel like I've kind of narrowed it down. You know what I'm saying? So all of it really, those past songs, my whole discography is just kind of like a growing stage. So I think that's why you can hear such differences because like that's me trying to figure it out.
It's really cool though that you narrowed it down. You're like you're just returning to where you started, in terms of
Yeah,
sound.
yeah.
Tell us about working with young ones because I think he really complements your sound and it's exactly what you're looking for in your new sound.
Yeah, that guy's a legend, man. I've actually never met him in person, but we've talked a few times over the internet, of course. No, that guy's a legend. I found him on YouTube one day and I was like, whoa. And I sent him a song that I made to his beat and I bought the lease. And from then we just been working. So
Hell yeah. So speaking of young ones, please tell us about your upcoming single, Jump in the Road. What does it mean to you?
that song actually was, I freestyle most of my songs. Like I punch in like most rappers do. That song particularly, I actually didn't think it was going to be one of the ones. Of course, after mixing and everything, like completely changed my perspective. And that same night, I came home and I never at that point used to make snippets like ever. But I just decided to make a snippet one day and then post it the next morning and then it skyrocketed. So from that, it just kind of changed how I do content or videos or songs now. So I mean, that song for me is like almost like the debut to like this arc.
100%. Should we expect an album from you this year within this arc?
Absolutely. The Beast Boy's coming. It's coming.
So we got an album from Beast Boy this year. Where else do you see Beast Boy going this year? Would it be like tapping into other mediums, more live performances? What do you see there?
Definitely want to do more live performances, just kind of invite people into my world. I got to start with introducing what my world is, reaching out to other mediums and, just trying to get the message. The message is really the most important part of this all.
Are you the one mixing it? You mentioned like punching, like freestyling. Was there ever a point where you were like just like a songwriter or like what's that process like for you?
Yeah, so I used to write songs, but I'm an overthinker. So I caught myself, doing more thinking than writing. I have an engineer. His name is DG, and he's pretty much taught me everything I've known. That guy's a fucking legend. So after years of just watching him and like him trying to, help me create my sound, it's like I've kind of taken matters into my own hands as well. And plus, we just work better together that way. He'll engineer me. I'll sit in the chair. I'll do a rough mix. He'll come behind, finish the mix, do the master. So it's like a very good partnership.
What software are you using? I'm kind of a nerd about this because I just started learning like a bunch of different software. So
I use Pro Tools.
I just got Pro Tools certified last semester through my school. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like you said, it's a beast, man. It's intimidating, put it that way. But then once you like can, really understand the controls and make it your bitch, it's a tool. It's a tool.
Do you ever think you'll go back to writing songs, or do you think you're gonna stick with freestyling for a bit?
I'm definitely open to writing songs. Like, I'm not if I'm in a mood or a moment where, I think I could write a song, then I definitely will. As far as like efficiency and like what works best for me is probably punching in. And the reason I say that is because like I think it's more of I'm in the moment. So it's like I understand like what it's supposed to feel like. I don't know how it resonates. You know what I'm saying? It's more authentic for me when I do punch in because when I go back and record something I write, it feels like I have to manipulate it a little bit.
Yeah, it's an interesting process to like be recording music and to make it feel like you're doing it live and it feels like true to that moment that you feel. You mentioned that you create content as well. Like, how do you balance creating music and then finding like visuals and content for that?
That is something I used to struggle with hard because it's very easy to get burnt out doing all this stuff, especially with school, because I'm also in school. But I mean, it's really just discipline and getting into that habit of, making a song a day, making a TikTok a day or, a visualizer or whatever the case is.
Yeah. And how do you deal with like when you do get in those moments of feeling like burnt out? It's been a long day of school. You still haven't hit that post. What helps you like push forward and keep on staying motivated with your music and your projects.
Just knowing that by doing this, hopefully setting myself up to where I don't have to feel like that anymore. So it's like a sense of hope.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you.
What are you studying right now in school?
Music business.
Oh, that's sick. Okay, that's my minor. Hell yeah.
I go to MTSU, so it's Take Heath graduated from there.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I've got this semester and then the fall, and I'll be graduating in December.
Do you think you like move differently as an artist with the knowledge that you have from going through a music business program?
110%. I stopped hoping and guessing and just started taking action because there's a blueprint, you know?
100%.
Like, what are you listening to today? Like, artists that inspire you?
I love old young thug like Barter Six. I've honestly I've been tapped in with this new underground wave, you know. Honestly, nothing is like really influencing me, I would say, but I just like as a music listener, man, like it's some good shit, you know.
Do you have any other like artists from the underground that like you want to shout out or like you feel particularly appreciative of?
Shout out Manny Dior, man. That's my guy. Also shout out UGS Jake. That's also my boy. And I'm living with another artist actually. His name is Knower.
Where do you see underground music going in 2025?
That's a hard question to answer. I have
25.
no idea because I think people come out with new stuff every day, you know, which is great. Of course, you've got the clones, but I mean, clones are going to be clones forever. But I think there will always be pioneers, and I'm excited to see what it looks like.
You're definitely one of those. And I feel like I'd love to see you this year on like a Black Boy Max stream. And that's like, I don't know. We're gonna be spreading the gospel about you, man. But like,
Love,
I
bro,
think
love. That'd
that'd
be
be my
awesome.
dream, just to like see you on a Black Boy Max stream. Cause like your whole thing right now is like punching in and like it's that like, it's just those sessions are just so cool, man. So
I know, I
2025, we're
know.
gonna manifest it slowly in the studio with Black Boy Max, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Be praying for it.
Thank you so much for taking time today. Like, really appreciate what you had to say, what you stand for. Like you said, we'll be in touch. Yeah, thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you guys, man. It's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure.